All right, so now she's picked up her irons, and when a horse is trotting, and remember it's a 2-beat diagonal gait, so I'm going to ask her to go ahead and pick up the trot and close her eyes and feel for that 2-beat diagonal gait of her horse. Right? So as the outside front and inside hind go forward, it's pushing her forward, and to be on the correct diagonal, the little rhyme to remember is you rise and fall with the leg on the wall. So outside front's going forward, the rider should be rising and posting with the horse. In English, being on the correct diagonal is as important as being on the correct lead, because you are balanced with the movement of your horse as you're going through a curve or going through a circle. All right? Now you can go ahead and open up your eyes and go up in your 2-point position. Okay? 2-point position is sort of like just a part of a post without going all the way up. And to ride in their 2-point, I'll let riders rest their hands on the horse's neck if they need to a little bit, and then ideally you'd like them to work so that they don't need to do that, and you can see how important it is for them to go ahead and have that lower leg long and loose. So now, like I had Mindy, go ahead and stand up a little bit higher, more forward, and really stretching that calf out. If your leg is too far forward, there's no way you're going to be able to post. Okay, the leg has to be back, and you can see how her heel is closer to underneath her hip, and that's the position of that leg is going to allow her to go into her post. Okay, go ahead and sit your trot again. A little exercise that's good to do to also feel for the horse's diagonal and learn to post is where we will have you stand for 5 strides, post for 5 strides, and then sit for 5 strides. So if you go ahead and do that, we're going to stand for 5, and try to feel the motion of that horse, so then as the outside front and inside hind are moving forward, you come down right into the correct diagonal with your horse. And you can see how she's balanced and she's on the correct diagonal as she was rising with that outside leg. If you're on the incorrect diagonal, you will feel your body twist more, and you will not be in balance with your horse. Also, our English trot is a more forward-moving trot, and a very slow Western trot really can be more of a challenge to post. So as she moves him into a little bit brisker pace, that actually gets to be easier to post at than a trot that is excessively slow. There she's on her correct diagonal again, posting for 5, sitting for 5, and then we'll stand for 5. And go ahead and put your hands up on top of your head. Okay, now Maria, if I would have you go ahead on purpose, change diagonal so you're on the incorrect one. All right? Now if you're watching this, you can see as she's going forward, she's rising with the inside leg. If you watch really, really close with her, you can see her body is more tense, and she is actually tilting to the outside of her circle a little bit. Now she will change her diagonals again, where it's just a 2-beat bounce. Okay, change it one more time. There you go. Now she's back on the correct diagonal, where she's going up. There you go. Now we're on the correct diagonal, up with that outside leg. And if you look really and study her motion very closely, she is more in tune with her horse. She's flowing around the circle with her horse. She's not twisting slightly as she was when she was on the incorrect diagonal. Okay, let's go ahead and bring him down to the walk. And let's put your hands down there in the rein position. So go ahead and hold them down there right in front as if you had those reins, and let's roll your shoulders around and around a little bit. And go ahead and pick up your reins. As you see the position of her hands, they are centered over her horse's neck. We kind of use a little bit of an idea of a small dinner plate, so to keep them so they are narrow and right over the center of that horse's neck and right over his withers. Okay? Now even though you have your reins picked up, go ahead and roll your shoulders up and around to keep those arms nice and loose and free over your horse. Okay? And let's go ahead and pick up a posting trot. And roll your shoulders around and around, keeping those arms nice and loose, nice and free. Now I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put your reins in your inside hand. Take your outside hand up above with your thumb to the back. And now do some big circles with that hand. And you can put both hands back on those reins. And let's bring him on down to the walk.